What's up? Welcome to Talk to Me or whatever. You know, we got Young Wiley in the building, and today's guest is my little cousin. You want to go by Sammy? Samuel, how you want to go by?
Sammy, it don't matter.
So we're coming at you because you come from the, influencer, gym influencer kind of lifestyle you're trying to live now. We've known you have some history in the back.
I mean, if you want to talk about my past, for sure, we could talk about how I became, where I was from a street kid to a father. You know what I mean?
What I've noticed before is like when you're growing up, like going from a hoodlum and growing up like running the streets and partying and doing all kinds of drugs, whatever, to now transforming to a father like that slows you down a lot. The journey to come from this location to that place is a whole entire journey. So take us back, like how did you end up being like a hoodlum? How'd you end up becoming running the streets?
Honestly, it was just at a young time. I was just thinking about money. I'm like, I wanted money, and me and my homeboy, we thought about it, and so we made, I guess you could say, a pact, a gang. But in reality, it was just me, him, and his pops. For a while, we weren't doing that much. We weren't doing anything big. We were just selling a little bit of fucking weed, and then suddenly, we wanted to get a little bit more into it. So that's when we started hitting up his dad, and his dad was the main plug, and so we started getting ourselves into more business. And then that's when I finally got the tattoo. Right there in WL.
From WL. What does it stand for?
No weak links. So it's supposed to be like a chain. So we're like a chain together. We're supposed to be strong together no matter what. But
Not gonna
yeah,
lie, that goes kind of hard, honestly. That sounds fucking dumb. No weaklings. I remember back because I remember for me, my experience with you was you were ghost, you were living your own life, living the Almo life. He's from Almirage. They call it Almirage. That town inside of the surrounding areas of Phoenix. We call it Almo. And I remember you just chilling there, and one day you messaged me. You're like, "Hey, yo, cousin," and I was like, "Sammy." I was like, "This fool never talks to me. What's this for? What? Hell yeah, that's so random." And you were like, "Hey, do you still do the music thing?" And I was like, what? Sammy wants to do music? And I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and my boy, we have this thing called No Weeklings. We have these songs we made and we want to record them. And I was like, bro, bet, dog. Like, for sure, I'm coming through. I didn't know you even rapped. I didn't even know that you, but not only that, I knew that you rapped, but you had like songs waiting to be recorded, which blew my mind. I was like, what? And that's when we began like our hanging out more and more because through music and then later on through gaming and stuff like that. But so it started from No Weaklings and you got involved with your homies Pops. When did music get involved? When did like what was the highlights of like the highest you got in the dope game? Like paint that I wasn't there for that part. Paint that picture for us.
for me, I'm like how it started for music. It was me and the homeboy. I mean, he basically started it. He started wanting to do it. I'm like, and he started tagging me along. He's like, bro, you got to come, do it with me. We got this. And at first, we started doing it off of like slow beats. So like, I don't know if you know the artist like Little Peep. Like that's the main artist that we passionate about, like really off of his music. Just because like it hit us more, whenever we were high, like smoking weed, hitting dabs, and every single time we were just listening to his music. So that's pretty much what started it for him. For him was the music, for listening to that, and then letting me know like, hey, let's do it. And so we started it. We started doing music for like a while, for like maybe I think like a month or maybe less actually. And then finally, that's when I hit you up. And I was like, yo, bro. I'm like, just because my homeboy, I told him about you. I told him like, hey, I got a cousin, that does music or he produces or well edits in him. He's like, oh, cool, cool. He's like, maybe we can hit him up or you hit him up. I'm like, cool, cool, I got you. So I hit you up obviously, and that's what we did. We recorded I think one song, right? If I'm correct.
With do you want to say his name or no?
No, I wouldn't say no.
Okay, what the okay, I was about to say, I was about to say, oh, I was like, wait a minute. But
People,
yeah, him with the homie. Yeah, I did one song with him, and we started a second song, but he did like the first half where he was like going fast, and then that song never got finished. I'm pretty sure it's in my archives of music that we just never finished. And I think either you were gonna jump on it or that was the end of the song, but it's basically half the song was done. And
Yeah.
then I never saw him again. And then after that, me and you made music. You had one song, and then me and you made another song together, which we call Fight Night. And putting in like your raw talent in there, like Diamond in the Rough style, was my production. It was like a whole entire like legit song.
Yeah.
I don't remember that song. Like
No, I really don't, bro. I'm like, it's been too long.
funny, I'm about to play it right now.
Papa Molly here with Holly, ass shaking.
But like back to like I guess when you were doing the street stuff, what were like the highlights you achieved like selling dope or whatever? Is there anything like you wanted to like what was your flex? Because Shamu's done that too and stuff like that. So
I'm like, to
you can
me,
relate.
to this day, I don't really think it's a flex just because I grown up, you know what I mean? But I guess, you know, having a lot of I guess, drugs in general. Like, having a pound of fucking weed, having a bunch of coke. I don't know how much coke I had, but it was a lot. And then, having LSD, shrooms, it just felt, at that point, I knew where I was, and I was like, yeah, that's where I was a little kid. I was like, yeah, this is what I want, but that was because, at that point I was praying to Santa Muerte or whatever, right? That's her name. And that's because of Pops. He's the one that fucking, the one that basically prayed to her all the time. And so that's what I did. I did it with him, and the homeboy started doing it with me. And so that's when we started getting more stuff out of her, you know what I mean? She started like actually giving us money, a little bit of cash here and there, faster than I would get at a regular job. Like where I'm at, I'm getting paid weekly, right? I would get way more than fucking the amount that I'm getting right now. And so it felt amazing having that rush, having that like mentality, like, yeah, I'm not going to be stopped or whatever, until finally I got stopped at school. I fucking ended it for myself for doing it at school. And at that point, that's kind of where it kind of shook me up in a way, like I got locked up for like, I think only 7 hours or 8 hours or whatever, until my mom picked me up and out of the cell. And then I got out, did my thing, went to court, and then I was on probation for like a whole year. And then I kept on fucking it up just because I started just smoking weed constantly every single time. And they're like, dude, your piss test is coming out negative because, or positive because of weed, like you're not coming out negative out of anything. Like you still come out positive. I'm like, yeah, I know. But that's because I smoked for, 4 years or 2 years, nonstop without, whatever. And they're like, okay. So I kept on getting away with it for a while because, it stays in your system for a minute, and for 2 years, of course, it's going to be fucking, it's going to take an extended amount to fucking expel it out of my body. Right. And so I started just waiting it out, but I kept on smoking too. I kept on smoking. And finally, I think like 6 months, they were like, dude, you're not doing what you're supposed to. We got to let you do a little bit extra work. Because at first they gave me like a paragraph to do for the judge. And then I had to do community service. That's when they told me like, yeah, you got to have to do a little bit more. And so that's when I did the community service for like, I think 80 hours, if I'm correct, or a little bit less. And then I continued doing my piss test, and I continued like coming out positive for weed. And then finally I stopped. I finally did better, for a while. After a year, I stopped smoking weed, and I started fucking cleaning myself. And then 4 months in, I went back into it. I smoked. And that's when they're like, what happened? Like, you were clean for so long. Like, what happened? I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I tried to just be bullshitting with them, And that's when they're like, okay, well, we're going to let it go, but you got to prove to yourself that you can stop because, you've done so much for us. You're not doing anything to society. You're not doing anything illegal. Like, you're doing everything you're supposed to because, I'm supposed to have a probation officer to come by my house. Every single time she came to my house, I was always here, always doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And obviously, that's when she, like, the third time, that's when, like, I got caught up, right? My fourth, being clean for 4 months. They told me I needed to be on bracelet. So I got on bracelet for like a month or two. I got off of it and I was clean. No, I wasn't clean for a little bit, but I was clean for almost a while, like maybe 3 months later, I was clean. So after I got the bracelet off, I fucking smoked again, and they got mad at me again. And they're like, dude, what are we supposed to do with you? Like, you're not obeying our law. Like, this is your last strike. This is the last strike. And I'm like, okay, cool. So finally I fucking left it alone. I didn't smoke for a while. And then all of a sudden I fucking, I did. I was on a binge one night. I don't know what happened. I think I was upset or something. I don't really know. But I remember my friend having a bag of crystal meth. So it was all crunched up, really crunched up. And he fucking just basically told me, he's like, you down to do it? I'm like, fuck it, I guess, let's do it. So we did it throughout the whole night. Like, it was pretty much big, a pretty big fat bag. And we just snorted like coke. And literally we did it the whole day. It felt like coke, but it was 10 times worse. You know what I mean? Like, it hit you 10 times worse. Like, the effects were fucking furious. Like, I felt it automatically. You know what I mean? And so, as soon as I fucking, like, nighttime hit, me and the homeboy were going to another, the main homeboy, the one that we did, the music with. We're going to his house, and this homeboy was just tripping out, like, off of, like, the street from ahead of us. He's like, dude, there's a group of people. And I was like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, I don't see anybody. He's like, bro, dude, there's somebody there. There's a group of people. Like, I don't want to walk over there. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm like, whatever. So we go across, went to the right, then we go, and then we're going down the street. And then again, he sees like a leprechaun sitting like in a corner of a car, just chilling. And then I was like, what are you talking about, bro? I'm like, I don't see shit. I'm like, you need to stop tripping out before you start making me trip out. And he's like, bro, I swear to God, I see it. He's like, we need to go. I'm like, dude, just stop paying attention to it because it's not real. I'm like, let's just keep on going. So we kept on going. And then as soon as we get close to my homeboy's crib, that's when I saw to me, I saw a bird, like a raven or like an owl. I don't know what the fuck it was, but I saw it just swooping down at me. And I fucking crouched and I was like, oh shit, dunk. And he's like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, you didn't see that shit? I'm like, you didn't see a bird just fucking swoop down on us? He's like, no. I'm like, oh fuck, dude. I'm like, I'm tripping out. I'm like, you motherfucker. I'm like, stop making me trip out, bro. I'm like, this is because of you. And so we go in, we're freaking chilling. And then finally he started tripping out more, like in the corner of the room, just like hitting his legs. He's like, oh fuck. You know, bunch of fucking spiders getting on him, you know what I mean? And that's when he started like just tripping out in front of my homeboy with the tattoo with me, you know, and fuck. He got mad at me because we weren't supposed to do any drugs like that hard of a drug. You know what I mean? Like we were able to do coke, we were able to do fucking shrooms, LSD, but we made ourselves a promise that we wouldn't do anything that hard. And so, yeah, he kind of got mad at me. He didn't talk to me for a while. After that day, he didn't talk to me, but he was pissed and, you know, started doing his own thing, you know, started doing his pills. I don't know what kind of pills he started taking, but he started taking pills. And I tried helping him out, you know, but that shit just took over, you know. After that, like I said, with the probation thing, the crystal meth came apart, right? Then I smoked weed after like maybe 2 days, right? After the homeboy got started not getting mad at me, right? We started smoking weed, and me not thinking about anything about my task. I literally thought the crystal meth would get out of my system pretty fast, but it didn't. And then I did LSD not too soon after that too, that day, and I thought that would get out of my system, but it didn't. And so when I did my piss test, I came out positive for like 5 things. It was like weed, coke, fentanyl because it was mixed with coke, the LSD or the shrooms or whatever it was, and then fucking the crystal meth. So they got me with 5 of those in my system, and they fucking just told me like, yeah, you know, you're gonna have to get locked up this time. You know, you got a lawyer, you get a free lawyer to talk to. So I talked to my free lawyer, and he was straight up with me. He was just straight up with me, dude. He was not fucking messing around or anything. Like for a free lawyer, he was legit, for real legit. He told me, he's like, listen, he's like, I'm gonna give you a chance. He's like, because you done everything you had to do for, you know, for the judge. But the only thing you keep on fucking up is your piss test. You keep on fucking up on weed, and then finally you fuck up on this last part where you have, you know, 5 fucking drugs in your system. Yeah, you're fucked this time. But listen, I'm gonna make you a deal. He's like, I'm gonna make you do only a week in juvie. He's like, if you promise me, you won't come in after that anymore. You won't fucking fuck up or anything. Blah blah blah. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I'm down. So I did it. I plead or whatever. And so that's when he told the judge, he's like, listen, you know, this child has not done anything to the society. He's not bad to society. You know, he's just a bad kid, you know, just fucking up here and there. And then that's pretty much it. And then, you know, that's when the judge was like, okay, you know what? Sure. You know what? We'll agree to it. So agreed to let me do a week. And so I did my week, and then I finally got released. And then I did my time, bro. I did my time with not being, I think it was like a year or maybe less than a year because I was doing so well. I don't remember. But then as soon as I turned 18, they, because it was like by 15 to 18, I was on probation or on task or whatever for 3 years. And then finally they locked me up at like 17, and I did my week, and then I finally got released. And then at like 18, that's when I went to the court and I told them if I can expunge my files, and they told me yeah. And so ever since then, I stopped doing that bullshit, got myself a job. Yeah, bro. Like at that point, that's when I started becoming a dad, you know, like almost becoming a dad. But it was when my homeboys started doing bullshit by themselves, not by me with hanging out with them anymore or anything. They started doing their own shit. And that was because of me working so much. And then that's when they got caught up off us doing stupid shit, right? And, you know, slowly I kind of drifted off of them, you know, from them, you know, being locked up. And yeah, I could have talked to them, but I just didn't. I don't know why I didn't, you know. But yeah, they fucking were locked up for a while. They got out. And at that time, I think I was having troubles with my baby mama. And she kind of went to my best friend, one of my best friends, and kind of like ruined it for us, you know. It was on my part, though. I kind of ruined it. And so I couldn't do anything about it. I had to leave it alone. I had to just fucking keep it as it is. Kept on pushing, you know. I can't just, you know, be upset about losing friends, you know. So I lost my homeboy, my main homeboy, lost the homegirl, and, you know, obviously I lost my baby mama too. And I tried fighting for her back, you know, because obviously when you're young, you love somebody, you just tend to come back to them over and over, and especially if you have a child with them, it's attention, not intentional, but it's like, you're attached to them. Obviously, to me, I was attached to her because she went through the process of, having my kid, and then, I wouldn't want to say the other part because I don't know if she wants me to say it, but just having my kid, and the other part for sure, it's a big part where it kind of impact me in impact me in her life in a way, like I was scared. I was fucking scared at that time. So I'm hoping you guys understand in that way, in a way where I say I was scared. We drifted off, and I started just working, and I became an assistant manager at my job. And yeah, for a while I was doing good, and until I fucking I got mad at a coworker for calling me a bitch. For me
One of
being
my favorite stories, by the way. One of my favorite stories. Can continue.
and like for me being like a street kid or like you said, a hoodlum, I'm like I kind of took that offensive, and I was like, oh, what do I do? At first I was
You're
like,
from the streets.
I told him like, hey bro, like why'd you call me a bitch? He's like, because like you're doing all that because it's because I snitched on him because he was at McDonald's for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it's like literally across the street, like not even across the street. It's a side of us, you know what I mean? And so he kept on saying like, because you're snitching, you know what I mean? I'm like, bro, because you're taking like breaks. I'm like, or lunches. And I'm like, which you don't need that, bro. I'm like, you can just work right here and then eat. I'm like, we literally don't work as much as you think. Like I'm on my phone 24/7, loading up cars, watching the movies and shit. Like I don't need to be out in McDonald's for 30 minutes and then, you know what I mean? So I had to tell my manager or above my manager, right? So I had to let him know like, hey, he's been gone for like 30 minutes every 2 times and, I don't know what else to do. And so finally he told me that. I got mad. I left it alone. And then all of a sudden, I think it was a different part that we got mad at each other. It was like, I don't remember, but I know it was the last time because that's when I got myself fired. He called me a bitch again. And I told him straight up, I was like, bro, I'm like, what bitch means in prison or in jail, right? I'm like, what that word mean, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, so you know what the fuck I want, right? Like, you know what I want? I want to throw down real quick. He's like, oh yeah, you want to fucking throw down? What the fuck? He's like, I'll throw down. And he started tripping out in front of a customer. And I told him, I was like, wait after this customer, bro. I'm like, I wait. I'll promise you, I'll fucking, I promise you, I'll whoop your ass right after, bro. I'm like, just wait. And so he started getting all buff and tough. He's like getting off his shirt, taking it. He's like, no, let's fucking scrap right now. I'm like, bro, just wait until the customer. I'm like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna fucking fight you, bro, but not in front of the customer. Yeah, finally he fucking, he gave up and he was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm gonna just call the manager. I'm like, okay, go for it, bro. Calls the manager, and then yeah, at that point it all ended for me. They told, he told him like, yeah, I called him a bitch. He wants to fight me for it, blah blah blah. And then yeah, they took it. They were on his side because obviously I was the one that's trying to start a fight. And so, yeah, they like I think like 2 days later, my main boss comes in and tells me he's like, "Yeah, I gotta let you go. I got this papers." And I was like, "Fuck!" And I was like, "All right, that's cool. I'm chilling." And I left, fucking left, and that's the end of the story. And then after like 2 months, I was just
I want
chilling.
to watch that quick.
Huh?
You're like, oh, snitching. I got a job. What's up? What's good?
Yeah, bro, that's what I was thinking about
That's
too.
just me. That's the old school mentality.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I was thinking about that too. But I
I
got.
mean, no, you being a D boy and me coming like D boy. No, I'm just saying, like, me being a former D boy and you being a former D boy. What is the most money you've probably ever seen?
Most I ever held was probably like 20K, and then seeing it was probably like 50K. But that wasn't for me. That was from my pops. You know what I mean? He was the main hustler, and he was the one that like took everything. You know what I mean? And then whenever I had that money, I wasted it on bullshit. I wasted it on drugs. You know what I mean? I'm like alcohol, parties. That's pretty much it. That's what me and the homeboys pretty much did all the time. Spent it on stupid shit instead of like designer clothes or clothes in general. Sometimes we did, but it wasn't to like that big flashy. That flashy. Like we got like a Louis belt, if I'm correct, and we shared it until we fucking broke it. And then I think the homeboy got like a Louis Vuitton fucking wallet, in which obviously I didn't need that shit. I'm like, I need a regular ass wallet. And so yeah, that's pretty much the amount I ever held in my hand, and then splashed it on drugs and alcohol and parties and bullshit again.
One thing I wanted to see was if this happened when you were like 15, 16, 17, how old you are now, if you were to talk to Sammy, who was 15, 16 years old right now, what would you say? Because what you went through, I think, is like a good testimony, a good like sometimes you gotta go through dark times in order to like make it to the light, to like want to see the light. So if you can go back and talk to a 15-year-old Sammy, what would you say?
Damn. Honestly, depend on your family, bro. I'm like, because as I got older, you know what I mean? As I am right now, I'm like, my family was there for me for sure. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I'm like, yeah, I didn't go to the family parties or whatever, but that's because, you know, people talk, you know, and I didn't like that as a young age. Like I was taking it personal, you know, here and there, hearing them say my name and then hearing them say my cousin's name. Obviously, I don't want to say his name unless he wants me to, but I'm not going to say it as right now. I think you guys know who I'm talking about. But, you know, our names were getting splashed around here and there. You know, it starts with the J. Yeah, so our name was getting splashed around here and there. And so obviously where it was getting my name, you know, yelled out to my mom and shit, you know, getting told like, oh, I heard your son's doing this or I heard your son's doing that. It kind of affected me because, you know, my mom's my world. Honestly, like she done everything for me. And then, you know, sooner or later my pops came along and, you know, he's my world too. Obviously, I'm not gonna yeah, he wasn't there for me half of my life, but he's my pops, and that's why I would tell my kid, like, go to your parents, bro, like talk to them, you know, talk to your siblings, you know, they're there for you, you know. Obviously they know more too. Like they're intelligent, you know what I mean? They're older, so they know more. So I would literally tell myself to speak to them, you know, not to give up hope or not to hurt yourself either, because at that point it makes no sense to do it, you know. Yeah, and so that's what I would say. To be honest, stick with your family. Let them know that.
So going from the hustle mentality to the fitness mentality, what was that change? What clicked? What made you want to do that?
Just because I'm by myself a lot more. There we go. I would say that. You know what I mean? I'm by myself a lot more, and since, you know, being by myself, it is kind of hard. And the only person that helped me out was my homeboy Mario, and he's the one that kept on like telling me like, hey bro, if you're ever upset or whatever, feeling down, call me, like let me know, like I don't mind you calling me. And so that's what I kept on doing. Like I kept on calling him, FaceTiming him, and every single time I FaceTimed him, he was always working out or like doing something about working out. And so that's when I was like, fuck bro, I'm like, do you think I should start working out? So I started flexing, you know. He's like, damn bro, you're skinny, you're scrawny. And at that time I was like maybe 119, 120. And I was like, fuck, bro. I'm like, but you think I should start? Like, you think I'm like good at shape? And he's like, yeah, bro, but you need to just bulk up. He's like, get at least to 150. And so I was like, all right, cool then. So, like the first month, I think that's when I told Richie, like I was getting into it, and you know, I was getting into working out. But this because of Mo, literally, he just told me like, get into it, bro. So every single time I would FaceTime and let him know, like, hey, bro, I'm not doing good. He's like, yeah, bro, you're doing perfect. Like, actually, you should do this instead or do that. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I started doing that, listening to him more and more. And then that's when he started making an Instagram, and he started doing fitness off of it too. And so I told him, I was like, damn, bro, I'm like, do you think I should do that since, you know, I'm skinny and, you know, maybe people want to take progress off of me being scrawny, short as fuck, you know, maybe they want to be bulky as me or try to be bulky as a scrawny guy or a short guy. And he was like, yeah, bro, go for it. You know, started Instagram. So I started my Instagram, and then I did a few videos, right? But right now I'm just waiting until I get to like 130, 135 until I post another video, just because I wanted to show the progress of it. You know what I mean? Progress of me being 120 to 125 to 128, if I'm correct. That's where I'm at the end. You know?
So how are you putting on the pounds, as you would say? Are you dirty bulking, clean bulking? Or was there anything changes in your diet, or what is it you're trying to do to just get bigger?
Honestly, bro, for bulking, I'm like, I've just been doing the regular things that I've been eating. I'm like, but a lot more onto it, you know? So usually I would buy junk food, which I still do. I still buy myself kind of the fries, you know what I mean? I'd be finding myself Popeyes, you know, the chicken sandwiches, or you know, just junk food. I'll just be getting junk food here and there. But at that, I don't, because the only reason I do that is because I'm trying to bulk. I'm trying to get big. Yeah, I understand it's bad for my skin or whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm drinking hella water at my job. I mean, like, I'm drinking like 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles, you know, and then when I come home, I'm working out more. So I'm drinking like 4 to 5 more, right? So I don't really care about my skincare at all at that point, because I'm drinking a lot of water. But yeah, bro, just a whole lot of junk food. And I'm at that point, I just constantly work out too. You know, out of the week, I work out at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 6 days out of the week. And then I try to call myself for like one day. I try to relax for one day, which I know I shouldn't, just because I know it's bad for your, you know, muscles or whatever. But I just do it just because I know it's what I can do. Like I know I can take it, you know, until I know when I stress myself. Like once I stress myself to a point where I feel it, I'm like, oh shit, I need to relax now. Like maybe for 2 days, 3 days, then I will, you know, because I'm not gonna hurt myself. I'm not gonna just fucking oh, fuck it, fuck this pain, I'm gonna just take it, fuck it, fuck it. I'm not at war. I'm not at fucking, you know what I mean? I'm at my own pace. I'm not gonna just fucking hurt myself for, you know what I mean? That's where I'm at too much. Where I'm at.
Yeah, I understand because I was an ego lifter and that's why I busted my foot. But I mean, like that's crazy that you're still. I mean, you probably have a high metabolism. Ever since I know you've always been a skinny ass kid, man. You know what I'm saying? And like that's crazy. You can still eat whatever you want. I mean, I know that if I want to bulk, I definitely have to eat heavy. And you're right. Like the skin does you know does pay for it because you're dirty bulky and you're eating like shit. But the results are there, and I've seen them. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what is your all end fitness goal with this journey you're taking? Is this to become popular with this? Is just to be in the best shape you can? See what you can do with your limits, or what?
No, bro. Like honestly, it's for. I mean, just because I promised. Well, I didn't even promise, but I told my parents, and I obviously told Richie that I wanted to be the strongest in the family, in both sides of the family, my mom's and my dad's, the Luhans and the Sanchez. And I feel like I can be the strongest just because I have the physique almost. You know what I mean? Like I just got to push myself a little bit more, maybe like 3 more months, 6 more months, and I should be in best shape of my life, in my life. You know what I mean? And maybe I'll be the closest to being the fittest in the family, but I don't know. That's just like my point of view. That's what I wanted to do. Then my goal is to get to 150, and that's where I want to stay at 150. Maybe I will change my mind in the future, but that's depending on how I look. You know what I mean? I'm like, but my goal right now is 150 just because of my friend Mario. And then I guess the other reason too is for my kid. For my kid to just look at me and be like, "What the fuck?" Just be like, "Yeah, that's my dad."
He's
Just be
like,
like,
my dad's an animal.
"Yeah,
So for you, it's all just want to be strong, and like look good.
yeah, pretty much, yeah, yeah, yeah."
Now, are you doing that all natural, or eventually do you think you're gonna jump on something, or
What do you mean?
like, are you gonna be natty, or are you gonna jump on like TRTs, steroids, anything like that, or
No, no, no. It's definitely, I'm just gonna be straight, just doing what I've been doing.
I
Being,
would not judge either,
um,
because I have friends that are like natural and the other ones that are not, and
yeah,
there's like it's just a difference. You know what I mean?
no, I prefer being all natural. I'm like, just because I already did the drugs in the past, and I feel like if I do, steroids or whatever else, I feel like I'm gonna get addicted, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in that process. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it.
So what motivates you when you're at that slump where you're like you don't want to work out or you don't want to go anywhere? Like what motivates you?
I mean, for not going anywhere, honestly, it doesn't matter to me because I always been in my room. I'm like, I'm that type of kid that's just been in his room, just chilling. Ever since I got my console, I've been in my room. And so I got used to it. Not at that point, I'm cool with that. But the working out mentality, that for sure was a toll because you got to be disciplined. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to discipline yourself to constantly work out every single day, or at least where the way I'm working out, I have to work out every single day. Then yeah, it's a constant thing. Um, where I don't know, I guess I listen to music, or like something to motivate me like that to push me to wake up or to like, all right, let's do it. And usually it's anime. That's that type of guy I am, anime guy. At least now I am.
I can't wait to get to the
Um,
point where it's like when you get like your social media thing popping and people
Hey,
are starting off because like saying like stuff like because of you I started working out, like I saw your befores and after, and I was scrawny, I was small too, and then get to the point where they're like, now look at me now, and you inspired me, and they're gonna be thankful because I know one of our mutual friends we have is a Mike. His name's Blue Gorilla on Twitch. He streams and stuff like that. He was saying that story in one of his vlogs where he was like, people who just don't like who follow me and I have no idea who they are, but they're like, thank you because of the influence of me sharing stuff like that. You inspired me to make myself better. So even though like for you it's like just simply like surface level, like I want to be the strongest in the family, at the end of the day, you're still inspiring people who want to aspire to be like you,
yeah.
or who just want to make a change in their life. And it's a good, like I always say, no matter if you don't think it or not, but you're somebody's role model, and you're gonna get to that point where you're like, someone's gonna be inspired by you. Um, so you're down the right track. What do you think about that?
Um, Honestly, I'm like, I don't really. I never attended for that. You know what I mean? I never got ever those comments. I mean, I have, and it just makes me feel. It makes me feel good, It makes me want to like tell him like, hey man, keep pushing, and that's what I did. Like, with our cousin David, he told me like he started working out again just because of me, and I was like, damn, bro, how you been, like at that point I got stuck. I was like, oh fuck, like what? No, I was like, oh shit. So I told him like, hey man, how you been doing on it? He's like, oh, I've been going at it, bro. I've been seeing you do the diamond push-ups, so I gotta do the diamond push-ups too. And I was like, oh shit. And so, um, like you like you're saying, it makes me feel good, you know what I mean? But I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it yet, just because, like I said in the like I said in the beginning, lots of people had to say shit negatively, about me, and so it kind of like it's a different situation, It switched on me. I was like, oh fuck, ah! It made me feel great. It made me feel good, you know what I mean? Um,
One thing that I think about is people who seek like a external validation, which basically the outside world like defines your value to you if you wouldn't think that way. When you get that response of like people who praise you now, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a huge mind shift like of your mentality. But I want to go back to like the role model thing because like one person that I seen was like your little nephew Jaden. Like when you posted on TikTok, he's like keep up the good job, you keep up the good work. Even like him seeing you is gonna put that in his head, like if Uncle can do it, I want to do it too, or I can do it too. So like I said, no matter who you are in life, you're somebody's role model. So I want to commend you for starting the journey because again, through the whole entire podcast, you went from like D-boy, hoodlum, fucking failing drug tests for years, you know, got fired for fighting with your employee, as a manager. Like you wild, bro, you wild. But to now at least getting to this point where like you're just working out, even though it's for a service level thing, I'm telling you, down the road, if you continue down the road and consistency, of course, and discipline, you're gonna get more and more of those response of those praises. So
yeah.
I look forward for that. I hope. What are your thoughts on that?
Uh,
Seeing that journey.
Honestly, I have no comment for it, bro. I'm like, if anything, it's gonna make me happy for sure. I'm like you said, having my nieces and nephews, be motivated off of me, and then having family members be motivated off of me, and then, like you said, more people sooner or later. Uh, it's for sure gonna make me want to keep going. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's gonna be more of a motivation. Where I'm at right now as a motivation, I'm still going off of mine, off of my own motivation, just because I'm not trying to get myself distracted, because I know if I get too happy, I'm gonna fucking be like, I'm gonna be on my phone, dog. Let me text you, like you know what I mean? Like I don't know, I just know the way I am. Like I know my mind tracks off of like the path that I'm going on sometimes. But no, like you said, I'm for sure gonna be happy, for sure. No matter what, I'm gonna try to keep on trying to keep it positive with them, like let them know if they need help or they want to know the diet that I'm going off of, my dirty diet. I'm like, they can go off of it. But
And
yeah.
another thing that you mentioned was like one person that got you motivated even through the dark time was Mo, Mario. Do you plan on doing like any collabs with him or like does he watch your progression? Do you want to like maybe I don't know like make videos with him like he started his Instagram or something like that? Like I guess what I'm trying to ask is like what do you have planned down the road? Because up until now you're at this point and I don't see you stopping, of course. But what do you want to do next? Like where do you want to go next? What do you see?
Where I do want to go next is obviously I want to collab with him, but we're gonna do that in the future. Obviously, either he's gonna come over here to AZ, or I'm gonna go to him to Cali. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's a different thing. We both live from different states. So I'm like, I live in Arizona and he lives in Cali, and it's weird how we met because it wasn't off of us hanging out from school or whatever. It was through a game. It was off of League of Legends, and I think for like a year or so, I was talking to him, hanging out with him, and then he made me hang out with the other homies. Right, started meeting up with his other homies, and we drifted off. And then finally we came back together, or not together like that, but you know what I mean. We connected. I contacted him because I had his number, and I was like, "Yo, bro," I'm like, "This you?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "This Samuel?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "How you been, bro?" Ever since then, we started just talking, right? But with the journey of the collab, we're gonna be doing that around like maybe after March, so like April. You know what I mean? I don't know, probably past that a little bit more. Um, but he's gonna be coming down here pretty soon, so I'm hoping maybe you could do a collab over here. You know, um, what else would you say? You said something if he motivated me, right? How he motivated me?
Well, like I said, eventually, even right now, you're already like somebody like you're inspiring people, and you're a role model. But the person that was something like that for you when you were in your dark times, like you said, was Mo. So he inspired you. He was like a role model to you. You're basically following in his footsteps. So I was thinking, like in the future, if you want to like do a collaboration with him, make videos, but you're basically answering the question. Like you want to go out there, he's gonna come see you. You guys are gonna collaborate and basically just collaborating regarding your guys'
Well, I
journeys.
would say what would be one exercise that you want to get good at? I mean, you want to do like the diamond push-ups better? Do you want to get into high verticals? Like, what is your fitness goal
Uh,
other than being
I
strong? And
I work out everything. Like I work out my calves to my thighs to my abs and to my arms, and to my shoulders. I'm like, I just do it all consistently. Like I don't do like one day legs, one day abs, one day arms. Uh, just because for me, I never done that. When I was younger either, I never done that. I'm like I always did at least two workouts, which would be like my abs and my arms. And that was when I was younger. And then now that I'm older, I'm like I'd rather have bigger legs too with my body because I'm not gonna have no chick legs. You know what I mean? I'm not legs walk around like, oh yeah, look at my leg, look at my body, look at my body, and then look at my legs, all skinny. So I've been just doing everything constantly, every single day, every single body, every part of my body. Like I said, I think I do need to rest a little bit more because of that, but I tend not to, just because I feel like my body can handle it, until that point where I'll be like, oh fuck, this that.
Well, as my brother's like I say, he did the ego lifting and stuff like that, and he snapped his body up pretty bad. What is some of like well, I guess similar like if you want to share with them, like what is your biggest like fitness heights you've reached, and like I guess the injuries you've gone through, just to like see like because you've been down the road, he's already going down. Maybe some insight would be some for the listener and for Sammy could like benefit from that value.
that's crazy because I mean, I'm hearing you're doing just basically calisthenics. That's crazy to me because I've never done calisthenics. Nothing really I've been into. I've always just lifted heavy weights.
Yeah, I'm like I lift weights too. I do regular, obviously push-ups. It's just to do the calisthenics. I can't say the word, but and regular workouts, obviously. Just because I don't have any weights like that. The only weights I have are I think you guys seen them. I don't know what they're called or whatever, but that's the only pair of fucking weights I have. And so the only thing I do with those is just basically you know get it to my thighs and lift it up, and then anytime I want to get my shoulders, I just go like this, just constantly all the way to my chest, all the way to my chest, you know, and then same thing, for my back right here. I do my push-ups. Obviously, the push-ups help, but for the same thing, I just get it to my waist, and then I do it just because like I feel like I can feel it there more. If not that, I bend myself over, the usual, pick it up, all the way to my chest, and that's pretty much it. Um, what else do I do with the weights? I think that's all I do with the weights, and then everything else I just do basically at home workouts. Lifting up for abs, I do regular ab push-ups, push up or for the ab workouts I do regular ab workouts, and then for push-ups, usually I try to do diamonds for my pecs, just because I got told that from David that diamonds are the best for your pecs, and then I do the wide ones, same thing. Oh yeah, and then for squats, I just do regular squats.
With
Yeah.
low weights, would you want to progress into a point where you go to the gym or something like that, or like go to like I don't know if anything's near you, but would you want to go down that road or because I know they have more equipment or maybe like build like a home type of gym. A lot of people have that, where they have a home gym. Did you want to like increase on your equipment or like you're cool where you're at now? Do you want to eventually go to like a gym and start like getting more weights? Because even then they have personal trainers and even then you could become a personal trainer at that point, you know?
I already gone to a gym. I tested it out myself the first time. It was just a lot of people there. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, that's cool and all, but I tend to not like a lot of people. Like unless it's like outdoors, yeah, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But if it's like me trying to work out or whatever, I'm trying to do a set or whatever, I can't do it around that many people. It's not that I'm scared or whatever, I'm shy. It's just that's a lot of people, and I have to wait for to use a fucking gym or to use a set or to use an equipment. I would have to wait for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however long, and usually they fuck around. They're always on their phone or they're doing something to tend to not use the equipment faster. So I try I would try it again, but I would try to go at least at night times, like at least 12 o'clock at night, maybe 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You know what I mean? And the only thing I would probably work out there,
I
just
was
since like,
thinking if you want privacy,
huh?
if you want privacy, I'd go to a private gym. like I said, if you want privacy, go to a private gym because commercial gyms are like the ones you're talking about. A private gym is one you could just basically pay for. It's basically like a club. You'll pay a little bit more, but you'll get the privacy, 24 hours access to the gym. There's hardly any people there. I mean, that's what probably you'll be looking for. But honestly, I would just start investing in your own weights. I mean, because it sounds for me like your calisthenics are working for you just fine.
Yeah, see, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, the only thing I want to work out is probably my legs at the gym, which is probably like the only thing I want to do at the gym is my legs. Just because I feel like my upper body is doing perfectly fine the way I'm working out. Um, Unless I want to, I guess at the gym, one time I will. I don't know though, but I for sure feel like if I did go back to the gym and I did get a membership or a private membership, I'll go for my legs the most, just for my thighs and my calves.
Well, one thing that's really interesting is like, with calisthenics, you don't really need that much weight. So it would be like cool if you did like, and if you like the outdoors, 'cause I know you like the outdoors. I know there's like parks and stuff like that near your house and stuff like that. So if you did like post and or videos of like some of your workouts you do, like I know there's like a skate park nearby that has stairs. You can run up and down those stairs for like your legs, for example, and do a calf workouts. Like people would be interested in that without having to spend money on a gym membership and not be surrounded by all those people and everything that you're talking about, like
Yeah,
having to wait and people on their phone messing around when you're trying to get your workout in. You're not there for like the social media, there to like do work.
yeah.
For people who see videos like you doing calisthenics, like without having to do a gym and at home or just in nearby field, whatever, like I think people would be interested in that.
Yeah, you're right. I'm like the only thing I was thinking about too, what you're saying about doing outdoors, is probably the workout drills. Because me and my brother were talking about it. I told him about doing the workout drills for like football, for like the ones you got to run back and forth, or the ones you got to get a ladder and then got to, just because I'm doing that at a young age too, and I know for sure that's what kept my calves going. Like at least burning, where I'd be like, oh fuck, seeing if anybody want to take off, I'll take off on that, because that's a different route of working out too. You know what I mean? It's not. I mean, it is useful, but it's kind of different. Nobody does that.
It is very different, and it actually gives you like the mobility and accessibility because people like can work out all day, and then like the smaller muscles that support those bigger muscles, like those can't support all that weight of muscle. So that people who are like really big and strong, they can't move really fast, but you'll be able to still move kind of fast with like the foot drills and then no equipment, cheap, and that'll be a great start. I'm sure when people comment on it, like we were saying, like, oh, maybe you should try this too, and they'll add more ideas to what you're already doing, and you can add that too. Build a
Oh,
community, I guess.
before I forget, you should plug in your TikTok, Instagram, all that.
Just send me the links of it, and then we'll put it in in the description so people can watch your journey and follow along and get their ideas too, because they probably want to get better. The summer's around the corner, you know what I'm saying? Get your summer body back, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, if there's one thing you could tell that someone's barely beginning, what would be that one thing you would tell them when they first start their fitness journey?
Set your own goals and not to stress yourself over like other people's goals. Just because I don't know, I could tell like my homeboys. The only person I can really think of is the homeboy's friend. Basically, tries to limit or tried to do the same limit as the homeboy, but he can't. And he tries to stress himself about it, and that's because he's a little bit more bigger. He's bigger, and the homeboy's smaller, and so like I feel like he's trying to, you know what I mean. For him being big, I feel like he feels small. For a small guy to lift more, he's like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like that's impossible, dog. I'm bigger. Like fuck no. So I feel like they should just take their own time. Don't try to take anybody else's goals. You know what I mean? Try to do your own goal instead of like stressing yourself and be like, I gotta take their goal. I gotta be stronger than them. Because at that point, if you're stronger than them, what's your goal now? You know what I mean? Like you gotta set a different goal now.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I mean, from where you started to where you're at now, what is the biggest difference you found in your body or in your mentality that you've had? Like, what are the physical changes and the mental changes you have had, guy, you've gained since you started?
Um, the physical changes, I would say for sure my upper body. I'm like they gain more mass for sure because I've been eating constantly like junk food. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm building muscle, so like they're forming together. You know what I mean? Like the most I'm most impressed of, like in my opinion, is my V line. I'm like my V lines are coming in, and it's like making my abs, come in, like shape up, in a way, like straightening them out. And that's what I'm more impressed about. And then for I guess the second thing would be my forearms too. They're big, but I'm not trying to make them big where I'll be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be like that. If anything, I'm trying to look like a Greek god, a mini Greek god. That's my goal, a mini Greek god too. um, and then you said the negative. What was the other one? The other question?
So I asked, what physical changes have you got? What mental changes have you got?
Oh, and then the mental changes I got is honestly, damn. Honestly, I don't feel like my mentality has changed. I just feel like, well, I guess it has changed because I wasn't able to just constantly push myself to work out. You know what I mean? Doing it now and seeing myself physically like change. That's what made me motivated too. You know, like looking at myself, I'm like, damn, I'm actually looking pretty good. You know, I'm like, I'm not looking that bad. And so that's what kind of pushed me to a little bit. That's the mentality I got from it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, dang, I'm looking decent, looking a little sharp. Uh,
Give your final thoughts or anything?
I guess what changed me the most from being a hoodlum was my kid. Once my kid was born, I kind of changed my whole mentality from being a hoodlum or whatever. And like, I started becoming an actual working dad. You know, constantly working a 9 to 5, trying to find a 9 to 5. You know, the main person I can honestly be grateful for getting me a 9 to 5 again was my dad. You know, got me a good job. You know, working with him, meeting great people around, surrounding me with great positivity. You know, anytime I'm upset or I'm down, they treat me as family. They come up to me like, "Hey, what's up? What's wrong?" You know, they try to treat me as like their own kids sometimes too. You know, because they're older cats, they're older people there. You know, and so yeah, I'm grateful for that. You know, I just want people to know like things can't change for you no matter what. Even if you're at the fucking bottom, you know, you did your drugs, you did your shit, things can't fucking change for you, bro, for the best, no matter what. Um, even if it's from, I guess, from doing, I guess from my point of view, I change for my kid. So if it's from a family member that changes your ways, then fuck it, bro. Let that family member help you. You know, if it's your sister, if it's your mom, your dad, you know, your sibling, anybody in general, let them help you out. Because fuck, that's what helped me out. My kid's my mentality fucking kept on pushing me over and over. Like I gotta keep on doing for it. I gotta have a good life for him. Like I never had this, I never had that. You know, so I gotta have my kid to have this shit. You know, I want him to have. You know, say if he wants to get a tablet, all right, I'll get you a tablet. Say he wants to do some school, you know, school project or whatever. I don't know, some bullshit. I'll have the money to get it for him. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm trying to do too. I mean, you know, savings, obviously trying to save up for him too for his future. And so that's what I think about the most is my kid constantly pushing me over and over to strive for greatness more and more. I guess you could say he's my.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, I couldn't put it any better, bro. I mean, thank you for coming on. Obviously, we're gonna get you on. Hopefully, we see your progress, man. I mean, I know you already got competition with me, bro, because you know I'm number one strong guy in the family right now. But you know, I welcome the competition. I'm looking forward to it. You know, now that I got this surgery, I know we're gonna get at it, me and you, because me and Luis did it, and me and Juanito did it. I mean, it's good motivational, you know, to help out each other. You know.
Yep, yep. I'm like, we got to do a collab too, dog.
For real, man. I got you, man. So thank you for coming on, talk to me or whatever. This is the end of the podcast. Young Wine, Sammy. Peace out, everybody.